And hello, welcome to my channel, Shine Star Collections, and today we are here, friends. We're actually not in 2025 anymore as of recording. This is the weekend before the first full week of 2026. So I am late, but I also realized that I think last year I was late also because of the snafus with my camera and all that stuff. But here I am with my binders. I'm gonna say a lot of these binders that are in here have not changed for the full year, for the exception of Changbin and one packed pretty much. So some of this stuff will be not new to some of you, but new to others who have recently started following my channel or just started watching. So I am going to show all of the non-Ateez binders. For Ateez, I'll get to that. I will show the majority of the Ateez binders because that is the main part of my collection. So, but there will be some binders that I'll explain, especially to those who are new, that I won't. So, but we'll just get started. Like I said, a lot of these, they just haven't been shown, but it's okay. I hardly believe that we are already here in 2026, and I'm sure a lot of you feel that way. So what I'm going to start with, I'm just going to put these to the side, so they're probably still in the shot. Well, I know they are, because that's most of my desk. Okay. It's dusty. Alright, so we're going to start with my non-Ateez, just idols I don't collect but want to keep their photo cards binder or collect book. I started doing this, a while back. As you can see, it's from Outlaw. You're like, sacrilege, you have non-Ateez in the Ateez collect book, but whatever. Let's go through this little binder. So, in the front is my guy Rowoon that used to be with SF9. He is currently now serving in the military. So he's pretty much the one that started this little binder. I adore Rowoon. And we're sad when he left SF9, but he, kind of didn't do it anymore because of his wonderful acting career. And also his modeling career took off. And it's like, and then his company was being a pain in the ass. So there's that. Here is Backend. Here is Love and 9 from Only One Of. That's just a card from one of their solos. Huta or Minyuk from BTOB. His gorgeous self. It was the only album I bought from him. Boom. Really haven't listened to Huta a lot since. I know he came out with something recently, and I don't even remember if I listened to it or not. This is, I believe, Dio from EXO. I pulled him in a lucky draw, so that's why I have him. Here are the other members of SF9. Genja? No, is it InSong? I know this is Zuho, and unfortunately Zuho hasn't been part of SF9 activities, which once again points to their terrible ass company. There's Off. And then there's Yeonjae from GOT7. And the old Super M cards. I think that's it, right? Yeah, that's it. So I really, as you can see, I don't really put much in this collect book. Just, random idols that I wanted to keep their cards. And here they are. But we also have the bigger A4 binder, for idols, and I am going to make some changes to that binder again. Because as I've kind of circled out through groups and stop collecting or whatever, I keep adding to that binder, and I'll also be taking out of that binder to put together a binder for my first favorite K-pop group. Okay, so this is not a K-pop groups. These are people who I have ordered things from in the past as Go managers, or made trades or whatever. So this is everyone's business cards. There's Shy and Miss Shy. There's a lot more. These are like fronts and the backs of these business cards. So I, some people I've, dealt with more than once, and I probably have maybe 2 kinds of business cards from them, or only 1. I also kept little notes, especially if they had like Ateez guys on them. But I haven't been buying a whole lot from a ton of Go managers this year, because a lot of the cards I bought were either from Nokia or Mercari. So, and a lot of the Mercari sellers don't include business cards. So, yeah. And also, there's also some vendor cards from people I've met, like this person here, they're local, and they do a lot of fan art and fan events. So this is, I think, the only one I got pretty much most of this year, this card, because I just did a Go with them. So okay, there we go. So there's my business card binder. Let's move on. Let's move on to this one. This one is it used to be my, what was it, Juyeon Hanse collection in here, but I moved it out because I stopped collecting Hanse in particular, and I put Juyeon from the boys with any cards I had from the rest of the group. But now it's for Kiho and his brother Yechan from 82 Major. So I don't have a lot in here. It's a very slow collection of cards that I got from both guys. I don't buy either one of their albums. I don't buy P1 Harmony or 82 Major, but I do like both groups. I've listened a lot more to 82 Majors. I just really love their music. And that's not going to change, because I do not want any more collections. I don't want any more albums of bands that I don't collect, and I don't want too many more cards. So, as I said, you're dreading to do this this collection flip through, not because of my non-Ateez groups, but specifically because of Ateez. But we'll get to that in a little bit. So yeah, so that's only a few cards I have. I know that 82 Major just came out with an album, and P1 Harmony did too, so I'm way off. But Ateez has been just taking over my collection, so I really haven't been paying attention, especially the second part of the year. Really have not been paying attention to my non-Ateez collections, and I feel bad about that. But I probably won't be, especially now that we have sort of an idea, because KQ told us February 2026 is when Ateez will probably come back. So it, you know, part of me wants to go ahead and I might still do it, go and try to catch up on some of my collections. And other part of me is like, I might at least do a Pokemarket haul. Here's Ace. So once again, another slow collection. I still love Ace. We know Ace right now is not doing Ace activities except for Junie. Junie's about to, I know he's about to start his US tour. I need to get my tickets for Junie because I really want to see Junie. And I was supposed to be collecting Junie and Jihan, who used to be Donghyun, but now he's Jihan. But yeah, I just kind of just fell off with it. But it wasn't supposed to be a collection that I worked on consistently. It was just, any cards that I could find. And Ace cards are pretty hard to find unless you found someone on Instagram that was selling or whatever. Oh yeah, Ace went through a lot of changes. They left their company. It was a mutual, parting of ways, and we found out Beat Entertainment is pretty horrible, like most Korean companies are. Well, pretty much all Korean companies are horrible, unfortunately. Oh gosh, I forgot. I got this light shining on here. I'm really sorry if you saw a glare, but I just remember I need to start picking up my binder a little bit so you won't see the light shining on the pages too much. So I'm going to be doing that throughout both parts of the video. There's our last Ace comeback that they did before they parted ways with horrible ass Beat Entertainment. And here's some Polaroids here too in the back. So, yes. So I do want to continue collecting whatever comes out, because I just started pretty much narrowing it down to just Jihan, because Junie is so hard to find usually, and at least with Jihan I was able to find a lot of his older cards, especially on Instagram. I did find someone who is an Ace Go manager, and I know Junie came out with his own album after he started his own company. I didn't bother to look and see if, he had, I'm pretty sure it was a physical release. But, like I said, I started really collecting Jihan, so I didn't worry about it. But, of course, I listened to it because I adore Junie. Okay. Moving right along. So try to find places to put binders. Here is my, this is my NCT binder. So it is everybody except Wavy, because Wavy has their own binder. Because they're basically the group that I focus on, and I'm already a comeback behind. I know they also had a special, it wasn't a Christmas comeback, but it was a winter comeback. So, so now I'm 2 comebacks behind, so I need to get back on my Wavy collection, which is why I'm thinking I might do a Pokemarket haul. But in here I have, any cards cards from any of the NCT members that I wanted to keep, or former NCT members. So pretty much they're like, you know, if I have one card, instead of just putting it, as you see 10, and I stopped collecting 10, because 10 cards are so freaking expensive. And, you know, here's something from Xiaojun and Hindity. Here's Lucas, who I still adore. Where are you, Lucas? I know Lucas had been doing some modeling and stuff, but as SM does, somebody hide them away in their big dark building. So I'm really hoping that their contract is up, because I really love to see Wavy go somewhere else and flourish somewhere else. Here's Utah. He's pretty much the only person that I've been actively keeping up with as of recently, because Utah just came out with his own solo with it October, November sometime. And these are some of his older cards from NCT 127. So he's like one of my favorite guys to pick up on Pokemarket. And then we have some things from his first solo here. And here's the things from his current solo. I honestly love this man. I really wish that Utah could tour the States. I really do. I would definitely go see Utah. I just adore him. And then going back to the... I did not hold it up. I'm sorry. After I talked about holding it up, I still didn't hold it up. So hopefully the Grolaire was not too bad. But we're going back through all these pages and going to Taeyong, who just came out of the military. I'm so happy. And he got right to work. he's doing his show. I guess he's in Bangkok, I think it is, with Utah, actually. So I'm so happy that he's back, and I'm looking forward to... He released 2 videos recently. One for her that was really, really odd but cute, just like him. So yeah, can't wait to see what Taeyong is up to next. So I will... Just a word, I will continue to collect mostly Utah and Taeyong, because they became my main 2 biases in NCT. So I'm gonna mostly keep up with that. Okay, we'll just leave it here. Alright. I don't want to go to Changbin just yet, because Changbin was the other most active in my non-Ateez collection. Let's go through Wavy, since we're just going through NCT. So as I mentioned, 2 comebacks behind with Wavy now. Because I don't have anything from big bands. But at least they have a nice new binder for me to proceed. Oh, where did you come from, hon? Okay, this came from right here. Okay. Maybe that's what it is. Okay. So this is my Wavy binder. This was from the only, is that for Fan Kit? I want to say that was from Fan Kit. When Luke's was still with them, when they were still 6, when Win-Win was still with them. But now we know, no, they were 7, excuse me. They were 7, then they were 6, then they were 5. So I had decided to pretty much collect group cards from Wavy. So I collected all 6. I think them out really nice, so that's why I want to really get back to doing it. And here's 5. Win-Win hasn't been part of a comeback since this comeback here. Oh, I still haven't gotten my card. I'm just missing something. This is why I need to go back to really buying for my non-Ateez groups. So yeah, I'm behind, so we're definitely gonna fix that. And I have some bigger inclusions back here, just a couple, and then I have these like Lomo cards that I've had for Wavy for quite a while. When I first started getting into K-pop and collecting cards, I have tons of Lomos and, you know, fan-made cards, especially for Ateez. And I started getting rid of them this past year. Well, yeah, there we go. There is my Wavy collection, which, like I said, is 2 comebacks behind. So I will be getting back to Wavy because I absolutely adore them. Okay, moving right along. Let's go to my other favorite group that is not Ateez. One Pact. One Pact is pretty much caught up. When I decided to just get the cards, you know, as long as I have a representation of my biases. At first I was, you know, busy trying to collect all the album cards for my biases, but their company puts out a ton of cards. Whatever. And it's just too much. So did I put this backward? I did. Why am I looking at it from this side? Their company puts out a ton of cards, and it's just like, I just gave up. I was just like, whatever I could get would be fine. But, you know, for their debut, I did just collect Jay and Jungwoo. But then when Jay didn't participate in that next album, I started collecting Tag. So now I collect, for this era was Paradox, I collected Tag and Jungwoo. And I like tried to get all of their album cards. Some of these are even from their smart versions too. This was the next era, and Jay didn't participate in this era either, I don't think, did he? Yeah, this is just Jungwoo and Tag again. But for 100, he was back, so I started collecting 3 of them, and I was like, you know, I'm just gonna get what I can get. But I did get quite a bit of, I found, you know, some sets with both of them, or, you know, for all 3 of them. And, you know, they also did unit cards, so I have some of the unit cards. That's what I have for 100. And then for this current era, this is the current era for one pact. So I got whatever I could get and just stuck with that. So this was the album that they just put out where they had solos, which all their solos were brilliant. And also they had, a couple of, songs where it was full group. But they actually had a really good year. Really good year. They toured here but did not come to Chicago, which I'm still upset about. But I hope that they tour in 2026 because I will definitely go ahead, and if they don't come to Chicago again, I'll figure out a way. But yeah, so I'm sad that I didn't get to see them, but I saw plenty of clips on Twitter. They did do a live stream for a concert, and I kind of wish I went out and bought it, but I'm still just so mad that they didn't come here. So, but I absolutely adore them. They're just so good, and they're so underrated. So again, if you want a new group to stand, please start following One Pact, please, because they're amazing. Absolutely amazing. So I had a prediction that Emo was going to break up, so I'm basically almost right, aren't I? They're losing 2 members. I'm going to miss these guys and Eben. I still follow them, even though I've decided not to collect Eben anymore. I still follow them. So, yeah, it's very disappointing. So I am a comeback behind because I don't have any cards for Do It yet. But I will be grabbing those, which, I really do need to do a Poke Market haul. Poke Market just had a free shipping thing too, but I was so, into buying Christmas gifts, and so I really pretty much stopped buying cards. I bought a few, but of course it was Ateez. So. I do intend on still collecting Changbin because I adore him, and my collection really came out great. I mean, when I consider that, did I start in 2024? Yeah, I started collecting Changbin formally, I think, in 2024. So, and I caught up with, most of his. I pretty much only collect his album cards and maybe a few pops here and there to like fill up spaces in his binder. And like I said, I put, especially for the older eras when there wasn't even amount of cards, I put Hyunjin or Felix or Bonchan in there. But now basically because Stray Kids dropped so much, I'm able to just have my guy here. And I wasn't crazy about Do It as a full album or even as a song, but Divine saved that album for me. The video, the music, oh my god. Divine was definitely my favorite song from Do It. And I really wish that it was the title track. I usually buy like just Changbin's solo CD or whatever, but I didn't do that this time either, so I will still do that. Karma was definitely my favorite albums of the year, so just letting you know, it will be in my top 10, as Karma was the best album they put out. For me, personally, the best album they put out in quite a while. So, here it is. Here's Karma. I think I have all of his album cards. If I don't, please let me know. Stray Kids fans. I have some dupes here, but I kept them. I'm like, this is my dude. I'll keep them. And here's, just a few Pops or Japanese cards. Because when I go on my Poké Market hauls, is how I catch up with Changbin's cards. And just anything I can find that is reasonable, I collect it for him. Benny, my Benny. Back here, I'm skipping ahead. Back here, I have other cards from some of the other members. So here's my other guy, Hyunjin. I love that I have that card with his crew cut. Love it. And of course, Felix. Yeah, I love Felix. And I have a card from Ian. I absolutely love Ian's red hair. And there we go. And just a couple of larger inclusions. His CD for 5-star and some fan-made things back here for him. So, yeah. Okay. It's not full, it's still room, but it's only kind of bulging because of the CDs and stuff I have in here. So my Monsta X collection alive and well. When I decided to move Monsta X to their own binder, the Meow Cafe binder, which I love. I love this Meow Cafe binder. So in the front, I just have any semblances of full album cards. So that's my only 7 set with Wano, because it's really hard to find one of those Monsta X cards. Because Poké Market has decided that they did not want to sell one of those cards. And I haven't recently looked that much on Neokyo, but I do want to kind of go back and see if I could find any more 7 sets or 6 sets. But I really would like some more 7 sets, because unlike Starship, I don't want to erase Wano from Monsta X history. So, but here's their most recent comeback with X after everybody's done with military except for I am. As of filming, we still have no idea when I am's going to military yet, but we assume it's going to be sometime this month since his birthday is coming up. So I have 2 6 sets. This was the merchandise set from, where is that thing? Oh, I see it. This little buckle here, it was a merch set, so it came with all 6 cards. And then here is their actual album card set. I really love this set. I want to say this is from, not the X version. I think it's Unknown X or something like that. And then here I have, so everybody's cards on their own pages. I start with I am, since I am is my main bias. So we start with everybody's Monsta X cards, and then their solos are towards the back. So of course I have the most for I am. He used to have his own binder, but now it just made sense for him to be in here with his guys. I have my 1 Wano card that's not part of the 6 set, and then it goes right into Shonu, since Shonu is my second bias. Then Minhyuk. Min has been killing me. I have a good number of his. And Kihyun. I absolutely adore Kihyun. And then Hyunwon. Jew Honey was about to have a comeback for his solo, his push song. We good. I think they came out with the medley for it too, and I have to go back and listen to it. And here's all their units here. I don't collect every unit, and even though I am active with this collection, I don't intend on getting every unit. But like this one, I had to have that one. Of course, we got plenty of group cards for this current comeback. And this is where we get into their solos. So there's my boo, there's I Am. Came out with 2 solo albums, so I have cards from both. I didn't try to pick up every single card, so it's just the cards I decided to pick up from both Off the Beat and Overdrive. Some cards from Shonu and Kyungwon from their duet album, which I really hope they come out with another album together because they were fantastic together as a unit. Still want that Shonu solo though. So Starship, if you're listening, which I'm pretty sure you're not, I want a Shonu solo. Keegan did a song, and I'm sure Keegan will be coming out with an album. And there's cards from Jew Honey's last solo before he went into Military Lights. So yeah, plenty of room in the Monsta X binder. So I really do want to get some more sets. So when I found out about Polka Market, what I decided to do for Monsta X was just try, because it lets you favorite cards that you want to buy, to try to get together a set in the same version. And when I would find everybody else but didn't find Wano, and I even did a search for Wano, and there's no way to search Wano, which so yeah, that's annoying. This is my binder for the Kingdom and Elast. Okay. So I still collect Kingdom. Kingdom, I think it's going to have a comeback. The Kingdom is going to have a comeback as 5. Wait, yes, 5. Because they lost Juan and Dan into military. So they are down to 5. And what I decided is that I will continue to collect Kingdom, as I absolutely adore them. I've been with them since debut, because I was in a moment where I was like, man, I didn't really care for this last album too much, and I didn't enjoy that they didn't do the royal styling for their last comeback, but they did do a little small mini single album, and they did do the royal concept, so let's hope that they're gonna stick with that. Even if they're not, I am gonna still collect the Kingdom. So, and I miss Dan terribly, because Dan is part of my bias line. But I have decided that I was gonna collect Louis and Jahan and Dan, but now that Dan's in military, I have to pick up a third member. And I'm like, this dude is so hard to collect. He really is. But I might be just trying to collect him again if I can. So this was their last album that they had before Dan went to military. And I did do all 6. Here's just their other cards. Then I had a moment of who is that guy? Because I just really have not been in this binder. Yeah, so I might be collecting Mujin again since Dan is gone temporarily. There's one. Just don't know what happened with Juan. He just one day just didn't come back. So there's Elast, who hopefully, very, very hopefully, will be close to the end of their contract. Because they debuted in 2020. I'm assuming they have a 7-year contract, so they should be almost done. And hopefully they'll be able to leave E! Entertainment, because they are just the worst. Well, there's worse now. But definitely in the running to be the worst. I know they've been focusing on doing a lot of Japan concerts because this company is probably broke, and they've probably had a decent amount of success in Japan. So a lot of their concerts that they did, they've done in Japan. So I didn't really care for this last album too much. And that's when I kind of decided that I was going to put my Elast collection on hold. So I'm not sure if I'm going to go back to it or not, honestly. And I'm not going to get rid of what I have because I love these cards. I was, for those of you who are new, I was lucky to be able to find an Elast gum. And I went back and got like all their cards. I started collecting them. I think I started collecting them right after I started collecting Kingdom, or The Kingdom. And I just fell in love with their music, the styling, just amazing. Like, Elast really does have a good sound, and unlike other people, I didn't follow them just because they were like Ateez's favorite little group to be around. I really got into Elast music, and I generally loved Elast. And I still do. I still follow them. I just have decided not to collect them. So this collection is on hold. But I don't want to say I'll never pick it up again, because I totally might. And also, if you have any questions about any cards, please let me know, because I'm just kind of going through it really quickly, because I've done this now, like, what, 4 years, guys? I think this is I'm going to my 4th year of the channel, and I'm like, there's not much more I could say. I'm trying to kind of, Ateez is the basis of my collection, so I don't really have a lot to say about some of the other collections unless they're active, like, for Monsta X. This is the last comeback. This is the one that I kind of ended up my Elast collection on, because I started collecting my top biases only, and not collecting everyone. Roman is actually my top bias, along with Bacule. Yes, Everlasting. Forgetting. So I started just collecting top 3. In it back here, it's just, random pops or extra, like, units. These 3. There's Bacule and Roman. And Rano, because again, I was having a moment to forgetting names. Rano. There we go for Elast. So we'll see what happens with Elast, but this bundle will be active since Kingdom, I don't know if they said January or February, but I know Kingdom is supposed to have a comeback with the 5 of them. So, okay, this is the very full groups I don't collect binder, which will very soon have an extraction, but we'll get to that in a second. Here is DKB. I adore DKB, I just don't collect them. I never have. I pretty much just bought their albums and not, just, you know, whatever cards I found I put into this binder. So there's Victon. I used to collect Hanze only, and when I decided that, you know, after Victon left IST, and they went their separate ways, even though they keep telling us Victon is forever, we're going to get back together, yada yada yada. The only person that's been active is Hanze, and he's been doing his own thing, and I'm happy. I'm still following all the members. They're all doing their own things, but Hanze is like the most active. I know Sejun signed with the same company that Yechun from Ace signed with. So, and Hanze's just been, he was signed with somebody, then he wasn't. And he's just putting out, you know, mostly digital music. He hasn't really put it out any, you know, CD form music too much. So it hurt too much to just go back and continue to collect Hanze's old cards. So I just stopped. I'm like, why? Why am I doing this? Why am I torturing myself like this? So these are all the cards that I've collected for the other Victon members. Because Victon was one of my old groups. So of course I'm not going to get rid of their cards, because I'm hoping, you know, just not just because I want them to get back together, but because I really do adore them. And, you know, I don't follow them, you know, I don't go into deep dive with their content or anything, but everything I watched, everything, videos from, like, you know, behind the scenes things, you know, I absolutely adore them. They were very chaotic as a 7-piece and as a 6-piece. Okay, who's next? Very just talked about very. So very is active again. They just had a comeback recently. They won a music show. I think they won Music Bank, I think, which was amazing. And they are a 5-piece. Ho Young recently enlisted, and we're still waiting to hear what happens with Minchan. But they are active again. So I heard that Jellyfish did a complete haul with their management team. So they look like they are ready to take care of both groups, the 5-piece of Eben and the 5-piece of Very. So, and I think everybody re-signed with Very too. Like all 7 members re-signed, because their contract was up too. So yeah, for a while I had a moment where I wanted to collect Very, and then I chilled out and decided that I would retire the collection but still follow them. So I am still following them. So I have a nice bit of cards. BTS! So BTS is going to be moving out of this binder because I am going to put together a small binder. I used to have a purple binder. I'll tell you who, for those of you who are new, I have a purple binder that used to have another group that I really adored in there, but we'll get to that. But yes, I'm going to put BTS in that little small binder. These cards are just, as you can see, the D-Icon cards that they did a while back. And my local K-pop store is giving them away for free. So I basically took whatever I can get from those. So there's some dupes in here, but I don't care. I was like, free? You said free. So why am I going to turn down free PCs? Especially from BTS, my first original favorite K-pop group. And while they were, before they got in the military, they did all their solos. I did put a collection of their solo, their cards together. The only album I had was V's because my son bought me V's album for Christmas. So I do have some of these, a couple of JKs, Jimin's, and Namjoon's, and a couple of Jin's also, and a J-Hope card. So, but I want to give them their own binder in anticipation for the first BTS comeback post-military, which everybody is excited about. There's so much going on with BTS. As far as Namjoon being very honest about his their relationship with Big Hit, Hive, whatever they want to call themselves. So yeah, I am going to give them their own binder, and I plan to collect at least one 7 set when they release their new album. And any subsequent solos that come out with that, I'll try to grab a couple of their cards or whatever. So, and there's just some random Super M there. ONEUS. So this is you who used to have that purple binder that I'm gonna put BTS into. I collected. Ito is my main bias. Ito used to have his own binder. I know Jigga and Hanse had a binder together. I forgot who used to have. I think Ito had his own binder. He didn't share a binder with anybody. But yeah, I fell off with ONEUS specifically because of RBW. But Lord, I can't even believe it. ONEUS is actually leaving RBW, and I cannot be happier. Apparently they have a new company, and I really hope this new company takes care of them and promotes them like they deserve. They are a 5-piece. I have accepted they are a 5-piece. Of course, I am still following Raven. Raven is still doing his own music. He's with a subsidiary of RBW, or is it RBW? Well, he actually re-debuted as in Japan. So I don't think he's done anything in Korea at all because of the whole Phantom scandal, especially I could put it. So I look forward to trying to support ONEUS again now that they're going to be with a new company. But Soho is in military, and I'm assuming that Lido will probably be going into military. If not this year, he'll be going in next year. But I am so happy that ONEUS is away from RBW. So happy. One of my predictions, for those of you who are new and you haven't went back on my channel, I made a prediction that ONEUS will probably stay with RBW. I cannot be happy. I cannot be happy enough to be more wrong. Does that make sense? I am so happy I was wrong. So happy because I just knew they were going to resign. with RBW, but they got fed up too. And supposedly it was a mutual agreement. RBW apparently, I don't know if they're necessarily in trouble, but they're, they disbanded Purple Kiss, even though Purple Kiss still had like two years left on their contract. They purposely disbanded them. And I guess there's groups that have disbanded or they're not active, but Mamamoo is gonna come back and do an album and a tour for them. It's like, what? That's confusing as hell, but it's another bad company just floundering. But I am so glad that my ONEUS boys are out of there. I'm so happy, and I'm looking forward to what they're gonna do when they get with their new company, and we'll see what company it is. And there's my Raven collection, because unlike other people, I believe that Raven didn't do anything wrong. I don't really know the full story, but I think that RBW just pretty much used him as a scapegoat. We won't get into that. And back here is just, Lomos, message cards from groups. Here's SF9, the boys. The boys has their own binder. Well, they don't have their own binder, but they have a binder that they share with Xikers. So that's where the boys are. So we'll get into the boys in a second. And I have a lot of fan maids and message cards, and there are Stray Kids also. Some messenger cards from them too. So yeah, I will be in this. They used to be in that little binder, so I have like, the binder covers I made. So yeah, BTS will be coming out of here. So I will be putting their binder together. Apparently the album is done, and what I heard was March of this year. I don't know if that's true or not. That's the rumor, but I'm really excited to see what the new chapter of BTS is. So yeah, so I'll have it ready. I'll have it ready to go. I'll be working on it. Okay, the last binder in the non-Ateez collection, is the Xikers Boys binder. So the Xikers binder is pretty much, and it is a Mayout Cafe binder, by the way, and it is doing the job, but it is already full because Xikers does too much. But yeah, here's my Xikers cards. Some of these I have an OT10 collection, and I also have some cards where it's only 9 because Junghyun was on hiatus. But now when Junghyun came back, I did OT10 again. But when they recently came out with this album for oh, good grief. What was the name of this album? Right, Wreck in the House. I went back down to the collecting top 3, which is Junghyun, Sumin, and Hunter. And Hunter is on a little bit of hiatus because he had appendicitis. So, but I heard he's doing well. He's doing better. He's recovering. These Xikers is kind of, I have to catch up on their show too. Xikers is kind of on idle since Wrecking the House era is done, and Ateez is about to come out with an album. So, but they're still active on social media though. They know to be active on social media, which is awesome. Here's my Hunter. So I decided to do, like I said, top 3 for this Wrecking the House era. But for last era, Spur, I did do OT10 because I was just happy to see my boy back. So I did do all 60 cards. There's 3 versions. There's 2 and what is it, hiker and tricky for each for each version. So, and 10 members, so all 60 cards. And it was just too many because I don't buy a lot of albums for Xikers, even though I have, what is it, about 5 copies, because a friend of mine gave me a couple of copies too. It's too much. This was from the era before Spur. What was this era? Because I'm having brain cramps this morning. Yes, watch out. So this was the 4th era. So I was collecting Sumin, Hunter, and Yechan. And Yechan is really hard to collect for, so I pretty much stopped collecting Yechan. But I'll pick them up if I see them somewhere. But yeah. And this is the 3rd era here. So we were still without Junghyun. But I did do all 9 for that era. But just going forward, I will just be doing top 3. And then, like you saw in front, that for Wrecking the House, I'm not done getting all the, I guess, the US, the Hello 82 US exclusive or Hello 82 exclusive, whatever it is. I just need to finish that out. But, this is when I was doing all 9. And here, back here, it's just their solo cards. Sumin is pretty much my top bias, but Junghyun, my God. My God. But since Junghyun was on hiatus, I don't have a ton of Junghyun's cards, but believe you me, I will be collecting quite a bit of Junghyun. So, no worries there. So, he will catch up to Sumin. But Sumin is my main guy. So, I have a lot for him. And like I said, I was collecting Yechan. So, if you saw, it pretty much stopped with group cards at the 2nd era, which was Trial and Error. Right, Trial and Error. This Trial and Error is when, no, that was the 3rd one. Right, that was the 3rd one. Because there was 2 eras, of course, debut. And then I have, you know, like their debut cards in the front. That was the first 10 set I have. But I don't have a whole lot of cards from the 2nd era. I just have, because I didn't collect all the cards for 2nd era. So I have mostly cards, you know, in the back here. But I think I am going to go back and get, well, I don't need any more from the 1st era, but I think I'm going to try to collect a set from the 2nd era just so it will make some sense up there. So, yeah. I might be able to put together a 9 set, maybe, from the cards I already have. Because I was buying albums for the 2nd era, but I mean, what is it? What was it called? How to Play. That's right. How to Play. Yeah, so I have some solo cards from How to Play, so I might be able to do at least 1 9 set to put up there to represent full group. Yeah. Well, this was the first out. This was the first comeback without Junghyun. Was How to Play. So it'll be a 9 set. Soon. Jin Chick loved me for wrecking the house. I kept picking Jin Chick. Not that I don't love him, but I did get a lot of Jin Chick for wrecking the house. And here's Hyunwoo. I don't get a lot of Hyunwoo. I don't know why I don't, but he just doesn't love me. Finally started picking a couple of Yejin's cards up. And Minjae also decided to come home for this past era. Well, here's the boys. So my boys collection is kind of on hold. I'm still gonna follow them, but I just don't know if I'm gonna collect the boys because they unfortunately are with another bad company in 100. We all know the story with Haknyeon. So the original plan was to collect 110 set and just try to grab some of Juyeon's cards, since Juyeon is my bias in the boys. But now I've just kind of put this on hold until I find out what's going to go on, just going forward. And like I said, I'm still going to follow them. I adore the boys, so I'm not going to drop them. I just have put the collecting duties on hold at the moment. And I am going to leave them in this binder. I mean, I don't know. The only reason I would take them out of this binder is if I needed the space for Xikers, but I don't think it's going to get to that just yet, since I've decided to go down to 3 members. I mean, it's pretty full, but I don't intend on... Excuse me. I don't intend on buying a ton for Xikers. So I should be okay, at least for a couple more eras for Xikers. So yeah, there we are. Yeah, I didn't forget anything, right? Okay. I'm trying to remember, did I forget anything for non-Ateez? I don't think I did. I think I got everybody. Let's just leave it here, because I am breaking up this video from non-Ateez to Ateez. So pretty much I kind of said what my plans are. My goals for non-Ateez groups is just to be very active with Monsta X, Xikers, Changbin, Wavy, and One Pact. And when the Kingdom comes out with whatever they're going to come out with, I will be collecting top 3 for them too, which will probably be, like I said, Jihan, Louis, and Mujin once again. So yeah, there we have it. Hope you enjoyed the non-Ateez flip through. If you have any questions, please let me know. But other than that, I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Bye.